something kind of switched in me. I've seen a lot of people making money online. I was too comfortable, and I just didn't think that I needed it at the time. Yeah. Like I said, family thought I had a great job, or friends thought I had a great job.
Oh, welcome to the channel, mate. First student interview on the channel.
Thank you.
So, introduce yourself to the boys.
I'm Nico. I've just turned 22 last week. I'm in the high ticket space. Joined Alpha Setters. Known me for a while, but joined Alpha Setters nearly a year ago now. Nearly one whole year.
Yeah, pretty mad.
Quite frankly, it's pretty much changed my life, and that's probably what we're going to go into here, I think.
Well, I mean, it's quite mad now because we've known each other for what? Has it been probably 10 years now? No?
Probably. I mean, it don't feel that long.
Yeah,
probably
10 years, but we've probably got way closer over the last year because I think it's very hard to find individuals that have the same drive as you, and obviously,
most definitely,
we're in Bali right now, and we're filled with it right now. But obviously, talk to the boys and tell them about your story. Like, where was you 3 years ago or 2 years ago, or just before you started?
So, a little bit of a backstory is obviously did my GCSEs, did A levels, did well at my A levels, went to university for a year to study real estate and property management in Leeds. Had a really good year, but wanted to start earning some money. So I went back home, went back to Nottingham, and I got a job in real estate. Pretty good job. Most people thought, I was cooking, I was doing great, which at the time I was 19. It was a good job. It was a very stable, yeah, very stable job, very comfortable job. They got me a brand new company car. They paid my petrol. They paid my insurance, which at that age I'm sure you know is pretty expensive.
Yeah.
Was working there for just over a year, and then something kind of switched in me. I've seen a lot of people making money online, which I have actually tried a lot before. Loads of different things. I'll go into that.
Yeah, I remember you like your stocks and your trading.
Yeah, just a bit of everything. I kind of dabbled into a lot of things, which saw some success, saw some losses, and nothing was stable enough to take over or for me to be like, okay, I can quit this job and go all in with that.
Yeah.
And traveling really kind of intrigued me. I really wanted to go traveling. So I'd saved up quite a bit of money not quite a bit of money. I've always had a little bit of money kind of saved up from doing all
I think most, obviously you had more than most, but I think men at the age now, 18 to 20, 22, you'd be surprised. A lot of people have savings. Don't get me wrong, you had a decent bit, but a lot of people do have savings. But you just took a gamble and wanted to actually go traveling. Right?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I had enough for me to go traveling for a few months and know that I'd be okay. And plus my job actually offered me my job back. They said I can go traveling, I can come back and I can start working again. So for me, it was like an absolute no-brainer. It was the least responsibility I had some money, and I had a guaranteed job back at home. A good job. I thought it was a good job at the time.
Yeah.
That I could go back to. So I went traveling, did Bali, did Thailand, and saw a lot of people out here making money online. Like a hell of a lot of people. And when you see it, I think back at home, there's not that, especially where we're from, there's not that many people that do it. I mean, if any.
I think for a lot of people as well, though, in their hometowns, they don't know anyone personally that's making
do
money
it.
online.
Yeah.
So it's a way harder concept to grasp when the only people you see are people on the internet.
Exactly. So when I actually saw it kind of firsthand out there, and a lot of the people were doing the typical, the trading, the coaching, the stuff like that. Then whilst I was traveling, I actually kept seeing your stories pop up on Instagram, on whatever I was seeing it on. And you briefly spoke to me about it before.
Yeah.
Very briefly, but I always...
Yeah, so for context, obviously we'd known each other since school, but then he went to university, I went to university, I was kind of doing my own thing. And then I got into this online space, and I'd spoke to a couple of people that I think should get on it, because I knew he was kind of locked in. I'd spoke to him briefly about it, but again, like you said, you was probably...
I was too comfortable, and I just didn't think that I needed it at the time. Yeah. And because we wasn't, I think when we spoke, we wasn't super best friends. So we didn't go into depth about money and what you was making. So I kind of just thought it was something that was kind of making you the same as what a normal job would make, but it's online. So at the time I thought,
Which probably a lot of people think as well, where you see someone else doing, you don't think you need it, but and you didn't need it, right? No, you didn't need it. You could be, if you were still working your job right now, you'd probably still be fine. Right?
Exactly. I would 100%. But like I mentioned, with when I went traveling, that's when it clicked, and that's when I needed it. That's what I knew I needed to do. This.
Let's say you didn't go traveling. Do you think you would have got to a point where you woke up and
So I definitely would have stayed in my job a lot longer. If I've always been quite ambitious. I don't know everyone probably says that, but I feel like I've always been trying to do something different. I've always had strong ambitions and wanted to be that millionaire and help my family and all the stuff that everyone says. But I really did mean that.
You know what? That's actually a good point though, because you say you was always ambitious, and you was, but again, what you was doing wasn't necessarily what you like. If you really had to be honest with yourself, like you could truly look at yourself and be like, is this going to make me a millionaire? Is this going to get me to my goals? And if you actually asked you that honest question, which is I know it's very difficult at the time when you're like in the loop of being comfortable and the weekend's coming around, it's just rolling.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of people can relate in terms of they are ambitious, they know they deserve more, they know they're destined for more, but they just don't take that step because they're in that cycle. So I think you probably would have broke out of it at some point.
I think I would have 100%, and then the reason why I would have is because I knew that I didn't want to do that job for the rest of my life. Like I knew I've always had a goal of getting into property like by myself and having my own business in property or doing the development side or just doing stuff on my own terms, but in property. Like football's always been my passion, but since that kind of went down the drain, property was the next thing on the list. So I knew that from being at my previous job, I would never get to
where you want to get to.
Where like I would never be able to achieve the goals I wanted to do, whether that's in 5 years' time, 1 year time from doing this job, because I was saving a couple of hundred a month, and that would have you need money for property as you sure you know.
So for the people that were like you then, so the people that have the motivation, they know what they want to do, they know they don't want to work in their job, but they haven't taken that step yet, and they're not going to Bali, like because obviously you went traveling, you went to Thailand, you went to Bali, so you experienced it. What would you say? What would you advise these people to like actually have that epiphany and that wake up to want to take the step when they're in that comfortable situation?
Well, I think for me, I've recently started doing some mentoring as well, so I do speak to a lot of people, and I like you'll have sales calls, and I think with what you say there, a lot of people will say that they're this ambitious person, and I know loads of people from home that they want to do this, they want to do that, they want to do that, and I genuinely don't think that people do mean that. Like I know that might sound a bit harsh, but a lot of people that I speak to on the calls, like I will know if what they're saying is what they mean, and I'm sure you do as well. Like there's a lot of people that just.
I think we know more than them in terms of I think if they had to ask themselves, if they went on a lie detector test and they someone asked them, do you want these goals? They would say yeah. But wanting their goals is different to actually trying to get to
and that's what I mean. And that's what I mean. So like, if I had some advice to someone who actually wanted it and actually did inside, they really did want to take that step and they wanted to do something, then I'd just say the same advice as what I said to myself, which was one, go and explore the world, because it really, really does bloody open your eyes up. Obviously, if you want to do that. If not, then it's like, just really have a sit down, like have a sit down in a quiet space and think, plan out your goals, have them written down and think, like, am I actually going to get there?
That's a big one. Yeah, like you said, because even though you was working your job, you still had. I remember you speaking to me before you got into the point, and you was like, "Well, I know, like, I need to save this amount of money, and then I can start my property."
Yeah.
Like, you still had a plan. You still had some sort of goal.
I feel like I've always had.
Whereas most people are in the situation where they do want to, they've not actually got an idea on how they're going to break out.
And I don't think many people do. I couldn't name you one person from back home who, if I said to them, "What your goals for the next 1 year, 3 years, 5 years," they wouldn't have a clue.
Yeah. So the way you're actually going to do it is by actually making a plan. And what I say to people is, what would a successful version of you do? Like the person that you want to be in 5 years, or the person you look up to, or the mentor you have, what would he do in that situation? Would he just, go through life and go through the day by day, like hoping
something kind of falls into their hands? Yeah.
And it's like no one's more bothered about you than you. Like I'm not going to care about you more than you care about yourself. No. So you're in charge of making the right decision.
Definitely.
I mean, another thing is like obviously, like you said, outside looking in, you was doing really well. Like all your friends, you was doing better than. Even my friends, I mean, like they were saying, like I asked them, "Can you name one person from home you think is doing well?" And they said you, and because you had a 9-to-5 job, you was making good money, and you had a company car, and you looked like you were doing well.
I was going to say, it kind of looks the part, doesn't it?
So, is it harder to kind of have that push when you feel like you're doing better than everyone else?
Well, yeah, because for me, I've always been pretty harsh on myself, and I think even. Like I said, family thought I had a great job, or friends thought I had a great job. Don't get me wrong, like I really respect that job. Like it was a really enjoyable year as far as a 9-to-5 goes. But in myself, I was not satisfied. Like I was for the first few months, I was like, "Oh, this is great," because I'd literally never had a job before. So like the money I was earning, I thought, "This is great." Like I hadn't really got any expenses or anything like that. But after a few months, I fell into a stage where it was very repetitive. The money was. You open your eyes, you think, right, what I'm earning there, and it wasn't a lot of money. It was just bang average, really. Obviously, with the car and stuff, it comes to a bit more. But I realized that I wasn't actually doing that well, and that might be because I've got big goals and stuff like that. But I noticed very, very quickly on that I wasn't doing that well, and that's when I started planning traveling. I was like, I'm going to plan to go traveling here. I'm going to go there, kind of see what it holds for me, and then I honestly did think I was going to go traveling and come back and go back to the job, like I really did. But then I went and it did change up everything, and it did as I think everyone says, it opened your eyes, it changed your life, but like it genuinely did, and it does, and I advise anyone to go traveling. especially if they're unsure of what to do as well. I know some people do just go away and they try and escape from it, but I went away and I was like, right, okay, I know what I need to do now. So
would you say, obviously, for you, right? You're someone that you always had high ambitions. You always had a decent amount of money. Why, you said you were trying all these things. You tried trading, you tried these things, and you seen some success from them, but never a stable amount. Why do you think appointment setting and Isaac Sales was that stability for you? Why did you think it worked compared to the other things that you've done?
Well, when I first got into it, when I spoke to you when I started and I went that first month or about first month with not making, I did make money in the first month, but not like a lot. I was like, is this for me?
Yeah.
And I feel like everyone has that kind of thought, no matter like how strong your mind says or whatever. Like I did have that thought, oh God, like is this for me? But and then a lot of people don't. Like I spoke to someone, I won't like mention names or anything, but I spoke to them about appointment setting and they wanted to make a change. And as soon as they found out that the majority of the time it's a commission basis, they were like, no, like I need something stable.
Yeah.
Like I need something that's going to pay me this. And sometimes the world doesn't work like that. And sometimes to get where you want to be, it doesn't work like that. It's not as easy as that. So for me, I think it did help. And I'll openly admit that I did have money behind me. And like, I think you said this to me, like I could literally go without, you know what I mean, sound like a cocky guy. Like I could go like a year with just trying and not making anything and still
worst case scenario, nothing.
Like, yeah, like I was living at home with my mom and whatever, and like I would still be okay. Obviously, I would never want that to happen, and that probably really would stress me out.
Yeah,
but I had that opportunity there that I
and that's the same for a lot of people, isn't it? Even if you don't like, say you didn't have the amount of money you saved, even if you was making no money for a year, you would have food on your plate from your mum. You'd have a roof over your head.
Homeless.
You know, I mean, you didn't need that. Obviously, it's comfortable, and no one wants that uncomfortable situation. But really and truly, if you had to say to yourself, worst case scenario, you go back to your exact same situation and like that you was in before.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what I kept telling myself. That is really like my job was still there. Yeah. My job was still there. I was like, worst comes to worst, like you said, I will live the life that I was living before, which I was content with. Like I was okay with.
Yeah.
But going back to the question on why I think appointment setting was for me, is because one thing with everything else that I've tried is like, obviously you have to invest a lot of money. And then like, for example, with trading, you've always got to kind of be chopping up. You can lose money. With appointment setting, first things first, you cannot lose money. Like it is like, you told me it's pretty much impossible to lose money once you kind of get in and you know the ropes. Yeah. Secondly, once you do get past that stage of worrying and being like, oh shit, what am I doing here? And you realize that a commission basis is 99% of the time better than getting just a set base pay.
Isn't it?
It's powerful and it does motivate you. And especially when I started appointment setting, it was the first time that I really saw money from like, online. Like trading, you make a couple of hundred, like dropshipping, you do this and that. But appointment setting, it's the first time I was like, wow, this works. Wow, this is going to take over my 9 to 5. This is going to be the way forward for the next few years. That belief. And I think my first offer on appointment setting, I made £50 commission on my first close. And like, I was like, oh my God, like this is great.
Yeah.
And then with the commission base, with commission, like it's like you're just hungry. Like you just want to do it. You know, there's no cap to what you can earn.
I think that's like for you though. Like not everybody has the same drive as you, because you, even from the start, even I remember the first offer you was on where you didn't make a lot of money, you were still hiring. You booked like 45 calls in a week, and all your offers, you had that offer, your offer that you had the base on. You was with them for 6 months, and you high rolled over like 10, 15 kind of setters.
Yeah, I was gonna say, on average, I was obviously make too much sense to them, but averaging 100 calls a month, and the second set was averaging 45. So it's like over double what set. Yeah. Even though I was on a base pay.
And you earned that base.
Plus commissions. Yeah, and I earned that. That wasn't given to me straight away. That was after 4 months of working with them.
And you churned how many sets? Like 10, 15?
Yeah, maybe so many.
And you stayed so
many.
Like yes, you've done really well. Yes, you've made crazy high numbers and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, people might just think that's easy, but you've consistently been someone that's high rolling. Like any offer that you've been on, you've always been the best setter, the guy that's performing the best. So that tells us something about you as well.
There's something inside, and it's funny because with one person that was mentoring, we was going through just like a Q&A sort of call, and he said he just wants to know, because when I was working on an offer, he was actually on an offer as well, and he said he just wanted an hour of me speaking to him about what I do and how I kind of be the person that I am in appointment setting. And I kind of sat, I was like, well, I didn't think that was anything special, but clearly, people have mentioned it, people have, put me on base pays, and it shows that there is something inside that for appointment setting, I feel like you have to have.
But like, and coming into it, like just for some context, you had obviously you did your real estate job,
yep.
But you didn't have like sales experience. You never done anything online. You've never been any info space. You've never done anything like that. So it was completely brand new to you. So it shows that someone can go from 0 to 10 if they just have hard work.
It's just the mindset for it. Just don't give up after you don't see a bit of money in the first few weeks, and just
And there's the other side to this order though, because some people will see money in the first couple of weeks and get super complacent. And there's been guys that have made more money than you, like a one-off month. But consistently wise, you've made more than them over a year.
I was gonna say, yeah, from like month 3 to month 9, right? Great months. I was speaking to my girlfriend about this, like just looking back at it now, like 3 to 4 times what I was earning. And to some people that won't be like, some people, the majority of people, it probably will be. For me, it's just like at that point, and I think I spoke to you about this before. When you hit something like $5,000 a month. Which, once again, some people think it's not, some people it's not. Like, at our age, you can do the majority of stuff you want to do. Like, you can go away when you want.
Especially when it's online.
When it's online, that's what I mean. When you've got that freedom to do anything. And that's what we started doing. Like, we started going away whenever, because you can work from wherever, and that is the absolute beauty in it. And,
yeah. Well, even now, like, we're in Bali. How long were we travelling for?
I don't know, maybe 3 months.
3 months now, yeah.
Oh, sorry. I don't know what I'm
it's all right.
Fiddling with
It's been 3 months with Australia, Bali, and you're, staying out here for another month?
Maybe, Bali for another month. And we're probably then another month after.
Yeah, like Singapore and all these.
Just kind of see where the wind takes us, which is like what we can do.
If you put yourself, continue working your job, right? Let's say you didn't do appointments there, and you'd be in your job for another year now. How much progress do you think you would have made in your job? Like, would you have got to a point where you
not far at all?
Double your income?
And that's another thing that I was going to mention is like, even if I had progressed, and got to the highest possible stage that I could have got, other than owning the business. Is I genuinely think from understanding people in the business from having friends in the business that were higher up, I reckon the most I could have made in a month was maybe £4,500 a month.
Really?
From being there for like some people are putting.
And how long would that take you? At least 5 years.
Oh, me and the rest.
Really?
And the rest.
Wow. And you know what? That's a question you got to ask yourself as well in your job. Like, genuinely, like, I'm not saying everyone needs to be a digital nomad, right? No. But if you look at your job and you think, okay, what's my boss doing? What's my boss's boss doing? Mm-hmm. Would I be happy in their situation? And like, honestly, if your goals are to have like a RSQ3 or, you know, I mean, anything, or what's your goals? You know, you want to live in a mansion, you want to have an apartment, you want to have a Rolex, you want to have a nice car. Will they be able to afford that? Will they be able to have the lifestyle that you want? If the answer is no, then you need to do something different.
You need to do something.
Like, or something else.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
But like looking into the future then, so like, obviously you've been in this space a year, which for a lot of people, like that's such a short period of time.
And it's gone, for me, it's gone ridiculously quick. Like so quick. Like the fact that this time last year I was actually in Bali again.
And you was quite skeptical about this online.
I was super skeptical about it. It's quite hard to kind of explain like how I was feeling about this, because I feel like this was different because I knew you, and I think I can't remember what I saw, but whilst I was out here, and I sent you, I could literally, probably won't be able to find it because it would be very far up in the chats, but I can remember I sat in Uluwatu with Mog, and I was like, I'm going to send you a message. And I sent you like half a paragraph, because I'd seen something, I think it was on your Instagram, of something of your Stripe dashboard or something like that, and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like that is actually insane. And from being out here, I was like, oh my God.
Do you know what's mad though? So before you went traveling, I went to Thailand in April, right? In April, me and Nico had a call. Potentially he was doing this job at that time, and you obviously saw my stuff, and you saw me in Thailand in a villa, and you're probably like, oh, he's probably doing decent right now. We had a call. I remember we had a call for like an hour,
explaining it,
and I was explaining it, and you was like, you was so like nearly on board. Like you was nearly
I was so close. I'll now openly admit that I was so close.
Yeah.
And for me at the time, I think it then went back to, I'm comfortable. I don't want to, you know what I mean? And you have to invest a bit of money.
Which just shows that it's not unusual to be like that.
No, it's not, because everyone's like that. Yeah. Like, literally everyone I have calls, everyone
but at the end of the day, the only way you would have got to this point is by actually like eliminating that devil on your shoulder.
Yeah.
Because if you consistently had that mindset for the next year, then you wouldn't be here right now, which is quite crazy. That's what one split decision could change your life.
That's what I told myself, and I was thinking it maybe last week as well, that if I hadn't done this, then I would have been in the exact same position. Like, most likely would have been in the exact same position with absolutely barely any more money to my name, and have not been able to travel to however many countries I've been to this year.
Yeah.
Which sometimes you got to take a step back and you think like, wow.
Even if you're having a bad month, it's like, well, still, I've come so far in the space of a year. Imagine if you did this 2 years ago. Imagine like a year from now. Like, it's probably quite exciting to think, where you're going to be for a year.
Super excited, and with flipping back to what we said in the start with the goals.
Yeah.
Like when I go back home, I can start then going into what I want to do, which is buying a few properties, not a few, but buying my first property, and getting my property for myself, and buying another one to do up and stuff like that. And that at the age of 22, like I said, I just turned 22 last week. Thinking back to when I was working that job felt near enough impossible. Like,
And you think about
so
like
far
me
away.
at uni, like I went to uni for 3 years. People do apprenticeships for 3 years. People like if you get promoted, you'd expect to get promoted every 2-3 years.
Exactly.
So like what you've done in a 12 months time span, and to be honest, by 4 months you'd hit 5k months. So if you look back to a 4 month time span, it's been
4
absolutely
months
crazy.
is
It's
wild,
testament to yourself, but also
Right.
just shows that it's normal to have that doubt in your mind.
So
But at the end of the day, the only person that can change your situation is yourself.
yourself.
Which is like it's impressive. And it's super satisfying because obviously, like I said, we've known each other from young. We was really good mates in school. Didn't kind of speak to each other for that long. Now
Just
we're
went
really good
different
mates
ways,
again.
really, yeah.
And it's sick to have like one of your best mates to, grind with.
Basically talk about business with, yeah.
Exactly.
You don't really speak to
Exactly.
many people about business, so
Yeah.
with friends it's even
Yes.
better.
It's sick, man. But yeah, no. It's been good to see your progress, bro.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you to you. Thank you
Here's
to
to the future, brother.
Thank you.
All right. See you in a bit.